Hi friends, today I'm going to pick up an interesting topic on the complexities of being man and woman in a marriage. Marriage is always a very interesting subject. Till you don't get married, everybody feels marriages are made in heaven. Then you don't, until then you get married and convert it into a hell. Isn't it? So marriages per se in India, especially I'm looking from Indian perspective, is like a most sought after kind of a thing, marriage. If you get married, wonderful. If you don't get married, people start raising eyebrows. Are you a gay? Are you in a relationship? Are you not well settled that you're not getting married? Multiple questions. People like nosy Parkers keep speculating about your marriage. If your marriage rocks for some reasons, still people are there. I'm sure it was a woman who must have played havoc in his life. Poor guy, he's such a nice guy. Otherwise, they would have said, oh wow, this is what happens. You get educated women, they never keep shut. So that is the reason. There must have been hostility. A poor guy. Sometimes it's a poor woman. Oh, the guy must be a drunkard. Oh, he was, very short-tempered. Oh, he was very this and that. So I think marriage always brings people. You're always in a scanner, whether you're married or you're unmarried. You're always in a scanner for the outside world also. Now coming back to the inside where you are a married couple, there's perpetually a struggle. Once you get married, you convert the so-called that blissful journey which you had envisaged pre-marriage into a kind of a battleground. There is a perpetually hostility. Well, there's love too. It's not always saying that all marriages are hostile. There are loving couples too. But that requires a lot of patience, a lot of tolerance, a lot of being inclusiveness, a lot of being accommodative. I mean, you really have to have a large heart to make a marriage work or wreck a marriage. Marriages don't break just because of one individual. Marriages are made by two and marriages are broken because of the two. But the dynamics of a man and woman is very different, isn't it? Now, women have mood swings when they have menstrual cycle. They can behave in a very, cranky manner and getting those typical mood swings monthly. Men sometimes don't understand when they get married. So there is a kind of fight, arguments, and the man thinks, the woman is very cranky, crazy, moody, etc. So that's one, a biological part. Number two, there is a perpetual rift between, working wife and a housewife and a working husband. I mean, the wife always looks for appreciation, which normally in most of the households they don't get. So they are just like, even producing children. For men, they don't know the nuances of parenting. For them, it's just a kind of a biological game, where it's the fusion of two dissimilar gametes and eventually a baby. I remember a very interesting incident. One of my friend's wife, they were invited to some, a Women Achievers Forum, and there were also other corporate guys and all whose wives were doing reasonably well and excelling and all. So everybody was trying to brag about their achievements and accomplishment, that I am a CEO, I am this, I am heading an organization, I run this, I am into motivational this. So there was a kind of the moment her turn came, I think she was looking for an opportunity. The moment it happened, she said, well, I run a home of unwanted children. And my job is to make sure that I look after the clothing, after the grooming, after the food and their needs. Everybody was so happy. What a noble cause you're working for, taking care of women. But then the woman reacted, my friend's wife, and she said, no, but they are my children. And Why I said unwanted? Because nobody will want to take these children. So it's the most thankless job she assumes she is doing, because a woman who gives so much to the house, to the children, to the family, is taken for granted, Sometimes she is not appreciated for whatever. And that is the reason. Sometimes when there is a fight between man and woman, the woman always says, oh, you don't have time, you don't even pamper me, you don't indulge me, you don't appreciate, you take me for granted as if, I'm meant to be an household drudge. So there is a kind of a conflict. But parallelly, I have seen also men who feel that appreciation is missing in their marriage. I mean, a man is also taken for granted that emotionally he is well equipped. He can handle stress, he can handle dilemma, he can handle other hardships, and probably he doesn't have to be very, sulky in those fronts. So a man normally, you'll see, will never go to a woman and say, come on here, I'm feeling down, give me a hug. It's very rare, of the rarest occasion. But a woman is perpetually looking for this kind of attention in terms of, hugs and, adulation and appreciation and so forth. So that's number one. Number two, which I have normally seen in this kind of an affair, that when sometimes after a point in the marriage, there's a saying that, of course, after a few years, marriage, both the couples start taking each other for granted, or somehow they outgrow the marriage. So when the husband comes home, he feels very unwelcome because the wife is so tired, exhausted, and then the moment he comes, he says, oh my God, again he comes. And the first thing when he enters house, there are a series of attacks. Oh, you left in the morning, you didn't even switch off the light of the bedroom. You left a wet towel on the bed. Very filthy, and you don't even bother about, it's so much of a responsibility on my head. So the man always feels very bad. But the men have got a very powerful way of compartmentalizing their lives, After hearing that yelling and shouting, they just go and lie down on the couch, or somebody sit on a couch, and they just merrily switch on a TV and try and indulge in something more meaningful, and the mind switches off from all these to a new world. But then again, a barrage of questions. Again, the wife sees him and attacks. Oh, you have nothing else to do. You come back and you just relax and you just want tea and you're watching your match and all that. It's a perpetually kind of a thing. So there is a kind of this conflict resolution is perpetually, happening. And there is another interesting thing which I'd not like to miss out. Nowadays in the social media, I've seen that squabbling couples also, they tend to shower so much of love and adulation for the husband. They won't go from one room to the other to wish the husband or the wife happy birthday. But when it comes to social media and exhibiting their emotions, they will say to the best husband or the best wife in the world, happy birthday, I wouldn't have asked. And yesterday when I was talking to one of the couple, the person who's showering love and affection, the person was lamenting, oh my God, where am I stuck, man? I'm stuck with, my life has become crazy and miserable. So once I remember there was a survey which was carried out, which is a very touching point which in the couples, which is rather not a specific problem with few, but it's quite universally applicable. Most of the people, there were men and women both who were given a piece of paper and of course asked to write where the marriages are failing, which are the sectors and what are the complaints they have with the partner. Now, women, when they came down to scribble and to rattle off their, so-called complaint, they went on, oh, he's crazy, he's non-cooperative, he drinks too much, and he is all the time with friends, clubbing, partying and all. He's not bothered about the house, parenting looks like it's not his domain, and blah, 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 blah. Almost 5 pages. When it came to men, they were so crisp. They didn't have too much of complaint. They said, she's crazy at times, she nags me, and at times very exasperating. But there was a general unanimous amongst all men, and that was sex. They were all sex-starved. So for sex per se, for women, it's not a priority. Especially once she has the children, I think sex is not a priority. And many of the men were also very candid to mention that the sex life has become like a very regimentalized life. Come weekend, Saturday, time for sex. On weekdays, dare not. Beware, dare not even look at me with that. The wives are very categorical. Don't even look at me with any expectation. So Saturday, either you have it or you forget it next Saturday. So I think sex is a major contentious issue between couples. Last but not the least, I have seen that especially the men, after the age of 50, when their testosterone level, really dwindles to 50%, and their androgen level which goes up, and probably they are more prone to depression and all. If they feel that marriage is a major stressor, so it's not that I'm trying to be a propounder of divorce, separation, or say, but there have been case studies in certain people where husbands have just walked out and probably started living more, lively, as a more lively soul after this. So in totality, what I mean to say, though I'm not trying to be pro-men or pro-women centric in terms of marriages happening or rocking, all I can say that there is a need to be more inclusive, there is a need to be more tolerant, ego has to be kept aside, and one of the partners on situational per se and mood has to be more accommodative in terms of being, more cajoling, more pacifying, and more following an appeasement tree to make the marriage happen. And there should be mutual appreciation and attention. Each partner should give attention and try and appreciate each other. And last but not the least, for the sex, men have to understand that women are not merely looking for sex, they are looking for love. So if you can make it more, if you can give more pleasure and love, I am sure the woman can reciprocate the same to make marriages rock. So I am just taking this to talking to all people who are married that have a rocking future, and to all men and women to actually learn and try and improve their marital life. Thank you very much. I tried to make an effort to be as meaningful and relevant based on the little experience and the interaction that I have around. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Stay safe, stay sane. Thank you very much.